Hey everyone, Jason here again with another tutorial for you today here in Illustrator. And today I'm excited because we've got a user requested tutorial from a user on YouTube, drox9. And I'm just going to read the question here and then we'll go into what he's asking and work on the effect. He says, "Hello Jason, a question if you've got the time. I don't get to use Illustrator as much as I'd like to, which causes me to forget." Well, same thing here sometimes. And he goes on and says, "Do you know how to say put text within a shape or object, beef up the stroke, and then delete the stroke contour from within the shape? I've been trying to remember and did a few variations, but I think I'm missing something." So he's asking basically about having a shape, a background shape, putting some text or something else inside of the shape, creating putting a stroke around it, and then having the stroke be basically cut out of the background object so you can see through and use, cut it as a sticker and everything. So we're going to jump into this. I think I know what drox is talking about, and I appreciate him. He's been commenting on a lot of my videos and stuff and sharing the love, so appreciate that. And I love when you guys send in ideas for tutorials. So it's Halloween is coming up here in a few days, so let's do something, a Halloween type graphic or something, just a small example. I've got a little splatter here, and I'm just going to make several copies of this just to make it like we'll make it like a blood splatter or something. So I'm just going to grab all of these. I am going to use the Pathfinder tool and bring them together. Let's give it a red color, like a red blood color, and you'll see I've got a bunch of holes in here. No problem. We're just going to grab the ellipse tool and we're gonna make a couple of these just to cover these holes, and then we're gonna grab everything again, Pathfinder again. So now I've got one solid lumped object. Alright, and with that we're gonna keep that on its own layer. We're gonna start another layer and get some text, and let's just type the word Halloween. Alright, and I'm using a font here. It's called Evil Dead. I believe you can get this on dafont.com, which is a great resource for fonts. Alright, so let's give this a stroke. We've got no stroke right now. Let's give it an orange stroke, and this isn't going to really matter because we're going to cut out the stroke. So he says let's beef it up, so let's do that. Let's give it a lighter orange. Okay, now we're going to bring it to our background object, and let's get in a little bit tighter here so you guys can see what's going on. Okay, now at this point it's still text. We can come in here and edit, and in fact normally I would. Here you see how these letters are too close together. This tool I'm using right now is the touch type tool. Awesome for adjusting kerning and tracking and things like that, rather than having to do it by the sliders. So normally I do this just to look and make sure the letters are where I'd at. Spend a little bit more time on that, but good enough for what we're trying to do today. Okay, so make sure that we're going to make sure it's inside of the object, well within in the limits. And now if I go, the first thing we got to remember to do, and people forget this, is go in and turn it into outlines. Okay, so now it's not editable as a font anymore, it's an actual shape. And here's kind of the secret sauce. What we're going to do here is come up to Object, and we're going to go to Expand. Now this brings up a couple of options, Fill and the Stroke. Now remember, he asked us to cut out the stroke from around the text, have that cut out of the object. So we're just going to expand the stroke. Now you'll know at this point if you did something wrong. Let me just show you, because if you back up and you just have your text without creating outlines, you're going to go to Expand and you're going to get Fill or Object. You're not going to get the stroke option. Okay, so that's how you'll know. So be aware of that. We're going to just expand the stroke. And actually, while I do that, so you guys can see, let's get in really close so you guys can see what's going on here. We're going to expand, and you can see the line around the stroke right now, but we're just going to expand the stroke, and you get some extra anchor points and everything around there. Alright, back out just a little bit. And the next thing we're going to do now is we are going to select both of these options, or both of these objects, basically everything here in the screen. And we're going to come down here to our handy dandy trusty Pathfinder, and the one we're going to want to use for this is this divide option down here at the very bottom. And we're going to click that. And it doesn't look like anything happened, but it did. We're going to see here in a second. And think about this as taking a knife or razor blade and cutting around the text and cutting through all of the object, including the blood splatter behind it, as well as the stroke. All right, and it's very important too to make sure the stroke is a different color than, you can't have it the same color as the background object, or you can, but you'll have to manually select it. We're going to choose the magic wand tool, and we are going to select that the stroke. Obviously, if you have other things that are the same color, it's going to select that as well. So that's why we just want to keep it a completely different color. We're going to select that and hit delete, and we see white. The way we know that this worked, and you can check yourself, is to add another layer, put it at the very bottom of the stack here, up in the layers panel, and let's just get a circle here, and let's make it a completely different color. Let's do I don't know, purple, I guess. Whoops. Get rid of that stroke. And as we can see, we are now seeing the decal, or we are seeing the purple cut out here through the middle. Maybe this will make more sense if I bring it in a little bit tighter so you don't see the spill. All right. So we're seeing the purple through. So that's how we know it cut all the way through, and that's how it would do it on decal. And even if I bring this purple here, you see there, you got the purple showing through and the white. So that's how you know it's cut through. All right, lock that. And also, if we hit I always want to go back to your outline view, which is Control Y, or you can get to it from going to View, up here, View Preview, View Outline. And you can see the cut lines. You can tell where it's going to cut. It's going to cut all around this blood effect, and it's going to cut around the stroke like D-Rox was asking for. And then all you do is weed out right in here these individual, weed out where the stroke would have been around the decal. Okay, and then I might, might select all this black text and then choose my eyedropper and go with the red. So there we go. Once again, bringing up the object behind, we can see that it's cut all the way through. All right, so that is how you go ahead and cut out a stroke around some text or any kind of an object. We could have put anything in there: a circle, a star, a hand-drawn shape, a hand-drawn icon, and we could have created a stroke around it and cut the stroke out around it. Again, using the Pathfinder tool and using that divide option. That's what works in this situation. All right. So hope that helps. D-Rox, appreciate sending in this tutorial. We've got a couple other people that have sent in ideas of things they want to see the way they're done. So send in those ideas, subscribe to us, and hit all the links below to subscribe and follow us on Twitter and Facebook and here on YouTube. All right. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Keep designing, and we'll talk to you later.